Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Oh, let's see here. Check. Thank you, Cichlids5. I appreciate that. Um, Rurutu coming in with all these awesome references tonight. I love it. Um, Thank you for liking the video, everyone. That's pretty promising and hopeful that I'll have good content here. So I hope to. So I hope that I will not let you all down. Let me tape up the last of my background here. It's going well, Rob. I had to kind of take the weekend off, Rob, because I well, 11, 12 years ago in college, I was leaving from church band practice on my way to eat lunch. I was pretty excited to eat lunch. Obviously, I like food a little bit, especially Mountain Dew is my problem. And jumped off a bench, got a compound fracture. That's this scar right here. You can see that. It's lovely, I know. And about twice a year in the spring and the fall, my screws, I have 13 screws now and 3 plates. And depending on the weather and the pressure, the screws enlarge or contract. Whenever that happens, it messes with the bone spurs and stuff and messes with the muscles, and it hurts like crazy. To the point that I don't know if you can see that my elbow is still pretty swollen right there. I mean, yeah, I have fat elbows, but there's my normal elbow, right? And there's my swollen elbow. So I had to take the weekend off of YouTube. I couldn't type. I couldn't. I mean, it hurt to roll over in bed was like almost impossible. So I had to definitely take the weekend off. So that's yeah. Captain Savage, go for it. Stream after this. That would be great. I'll be editing this a little bit, and I'll definitely stop by after I'm done with that. So, but yeah, so that's why I had to take the weekend off. I wasn't able to reply to comments as quickly as what I like to be able to. I mean, I didn't watch any videos on YouTube, and that just felt really weird for me. I was going through YouTube withdrawals a little bit. So, no, it's Dank Tanks. I thought I had gout in my foot, but in my ankle, but it wasn't gout. Turned out to be plantar fasciitis a lot of times. So, I am feeling better now. It's still not at 100%, but I am doing better now. So it's much. I'm able to type now, because even like rotating my hands in order to be able to type, like I can only keep my right hand like straight like this. So to put it flat to be able to type was a really painful thing to have to do. So that's my story from this weekend. So I said I was talking about plans and dreams for my channel, and to give back to the hobby. So, yeah, I have lots of, they're in other places they're called pipe dreams, and I like to call them tank dreams, because I mean, it kind of just makes sense. Um, so, nothing that, I mean, the doctor prescribed me just to take 2 Aleve every 12 hours, and that does absolutely nothing. Just fish life. If you ever notice I'm out for a few days, don't be offended. It's usually because I have some pretty, something is going on usually, but I will be back in a few days, so don't worry about it too much. So uh, so that's nothing really anyone can do. I've talked to the doctor about getting the screws taken out, and apparently the doctor said that's not going to help very much, but I would like to think that it would, but who knows. But also last week, speaking of fish related information, I had an allergic reaction to fish food. I actually turned out to be to bloodworms, freeze-dried bloodworms. I knew I had an allergic reaction to brine shrimp, which whenever I was exposed to brine shrimp while feeding my fish and get it on my hands, then rub it on my eyes, I would repeatedly, not repeatedly, but each time I would find that, let me find a pen here, each time, oh, this stinks. Each time that I was exposed to the brine shrimp, I found that my allergic reaction got worse and worse. And then this most recent time, I wasn't around any brine shrimp, and yet I still had a slight allergic reaction. The worst that my allergic reaction got to brine shrimp is I actually got hives and got swollen and stuff in the face. But and then with the bloodworms this past week, it was just like an allergic reaction, like eyes got red and itchy, nose got, you know, runny and stuff. So yeah, Rob, good question. Rick, why are you eating bloodworms? They just look so tasty, you know, those, you know, thin little dried up brown things. They're just so tempting. It's really killing me. I can't find a pen here. I used to have like a bajillion here. Might move the camera just a little bit. I know I've got pens in here. There we go. The in-laws got me these a while back. They said that they were lefty friendly. On another subject, I am preparing for the hobbyists with allergies and weak immune systems. Susan, I'm not quite sure what if you're asking something or if you're making a reference to what I said, so if you could explain. Oh, sorry, people. Alright, look at that. I found paper and a pen. I do this to write down the little tip for anybody who ever wants to live stream. If you're ever looking for times to, you know, like there's a good time during your live stream to put a card, a little link to like someone's channel, then that's what I like to do. So that way it saves me a lot of time later on during editing. So, it saves a lot of time in editing, or if I you know, if there's a really good thumbnail because I make a crazy face, then I write that down. So those kind of things. So like last night on Sergeant Tank's stream, he made a funny face with a crayfish and he said thumbnail, so I knew exactly what he was talking about there. So pretty funny. Yeah, Jennifer, allergic to yeast, and that is an almost all dry fish juice. That would be pretty rough. That'd be pretty rough. Hey, Luke's Aquatics, thanks for stopping by. Nice to catch you for the first time tonight in Bob's live stream. So, I actually thought that I made the topic of this one a different one, so now I kind of have to change my brain around a little bit, which I do that pretty often. So let me just get the brain going in a different direction. But plans and dreams for my channel and to give back to the hobby. So I last Monday on Memorial Day, I posted a teaser video saying that I was going to go meet with these people and talk about, hey Charles Fish Tanks, congratulations on the 1,000 subs, excuse me. Everyone, and if you haven't, please make sure you go subscribe to Charles Fish Tanks. He's at 1,000, but let's keep him going. You don't stay stagnant. Like water is a bad thing, lack of oxygen. You keep growing channels. So go sub up Charles Fish Tanks. Amelia, yes, we will go over everything, so don't worry about it. Let's see. So I met with these guys, like I said in the video last Monday. It was the teaser video. I actually have made a video for it, but I haven't edited it or posted it yet. I'm not sure when I will post it. Probably this past, or not this past weekend, but this coming Saturday, I will probably post that video. I will be, I went and talked to these guys, and one really cool thing that I've been thinking about, and I've actually told my students about it too, is that one of my pipe dreams or tank dreams, and this is not going to happen, so don't get your hopes up. This is not going to happen anytime soon. Like, if it happened in 10 years, that would be earlier than I think it would, but it's probably not going to happen ever. because I found a better way. So just wait till the end of the story, okay? So, my tank dream, my original idea was to open up a fish store in like an inner city, because the thing is, in an inner city, if where crime is a problem, like theft and things like that, what are people gonna steal? I mean, you're not gonna look up from your register and then see someone like with a net and a big bag scooping out the fish and putting them in there. You'll be able to catch them before that, I would think. And as long as you keep your your money stashed away in a safe place, or even just do no cash and just do like credit cards only kind of thing, pay through the swipe thing with PayPal or whatever you do, the Square or Venmo, whatever you use that your business that works best for your business. I mean, if you do it that way and you don't have any cash in your store, and you say no cash in the store, or no more than $20 in the store kind of thing, just like what gas stations do a lot, what is someone going to steal? I mean, it's going to be pretty obvious a person's walking out with this glass fish tank in their arms, or who's going to steal a fish net, It's pretty lame to steal a fish net. If someone stole fish, what are they going to do with them? I mean, us fish hobbyists that have them legally and buy them or raise them ourselves even have a difficult time selling fish sometimes. So no one's going to be going and trying to steal and fish. So I could never deny cash. I wouldn't either, but I would think it would be a safe practice to avoid keeping that much cash in the store. So anyways, but my purpose is not really to make $1 bajillion there, but to give back to the community and help to get kids off the street and hire local kids in the area and teach them, say, hey, come work here, teach you how to take care of aquariums, teach you how to do water changes, feed the fish, clean the tanks, things like that, and you'll have a job. You can maybe eventually take over the store someday, and that would be great. And teach them work skills, things like that. It would take a lot of patience, but it would get them off the streets, because if kids are busy doing anything productive, keep them busy, they're gonna stay out of trouble. I know that a lot of times we joke on the Fish Fam chats and live streams and say, if kids are too busy spending their money on fish, then they don't have money to buy drugs, which is true. If they're too busy doing good stuff, then they don't have enough time, energy, or money to get into trouble. So I'm a firm believer in that. So, but anyways, also to kind of start like a fish breeding program with local neighborhood kids. Say, hey, give you this 10-gallon setup, you raise some guppies, and if you can raise guppies and breed them and bring us back, then we'll give you the next step up. We'll give you some, some other type of live bear. And eventually, once they've gone through all the live bears and stuff, maybe step up to like egg scatterers or egg layers, like angelfish, or egg scatterers like tetras or things like that. So people's elbow, that like button is awesome. Yeah, my elbow is definitely the people's elbow. So Lumpy Dog, I will have to go by and check out that plant. I'm not the best at identifying plants, but you have definitely spiked my curiosity. So Fish Life, I'm located near Richmond, Virginia. That's where I've been all my life. So my local fish stores are is Richmond, Virginia. So anyways, so that was my pipe dream, or my tank dream. Because I went to this fishing thing when I was a kid, and they gave these little towels that are kind of like the towels that Corey is selling from Aquarium Co-op, and Sergeant Tank is selling on his website. So definitely go check out their stores. And on this hey Guppy Crib, on this towel it said, get kids hooked on fishing, not drugs, and I thought that was really cool. So I mean, I was a kid then. I was probably 10 or 11 years old. I thought that was pretty cool then too. So they were talking about catching fish, but hey, you know, we like fishing too. So if you don't like, you're a big jabroni and deserve the people's elbow. Exactly, dang tank. So hit that like button, or else you get the people's elbow, which might hurt me more than it hurts you. So, but anyway, so that was what I was thinking, and I was like, how is that going to happen? Because I'm an idea person, not really a great person with the details and with coming through with what's it called, with deadlines. I'm horrible with deadlines. So met with these guys on Friday, and turns out that they are extremely interested in doing basically the same thing, and they really want to start kind of, they were talking to me like, hey, we would like to help, eventually like to help your students, even because you actually obviously teach students, so we would like to kind of get a breeding program with those students, and see if the students would be interested in breeding fish, and just kind of, you know, stepping up, you know, guppies, other live bears, egg scatterers, egg layers, and eventually more and more difficult fish, and to the point that it becomes, you know, basically where a lot of us are at, and some people that are way more advanced than what I am are at, and get into other things too. Good question, Kim Seth. I would rather have more smaller tanks than fewer bigger tanks. And I know that David from David Betancourt's Aquariums would disagree, because I know he wants to have a few monster tanks. But I would much rather have a bunch of little tanks. And if you asked me that question 10 years ago, I would have also said I would rather have a few large monster tanks. But these days I'm finding more enjoyment in raising guppies and celestial pearl danios, and have plans for, you know, German blue rams and apistogrammas, and what else? Shell dwellers. I love the shell dwellers. Maltese. Those are really cool. Like maybe the largest tank would be able to fit like blue Acaras in them, or Oscars. I just love Oscars, but the biggest tank I would want. So like no larger than like a 90-gallon, but I'd rather have, you know, 10 tens than one 100-gallon, if that's what you're asking. So yes, David, you definitely do suffer from BTS, also known as big tank syndrome. So as I know a bunch of y'all do. I know Big J also suffers from big tank syndrome. So anyway, so that's one of my plans and goals and dreams for my channel. So now that I've met with these guys, and they have some ideas, and I thought I would have to wait, you know, 10 years, or I would have to wait until I open up a fish store, which is probably not ever going to happen, to be able to reach out and help out the hobby, to breed, and also at the same time help students, to keep them busy with a productive hobby. But with these guys, you know, they kind of showed me a very good point, that I already have this awesome career. I love my job. I also love summertime, don't get me wrong, but I do love my job, and love to be able to reach out to the future of our country, and future of our hobby. I know I have quite a few students that love to just sit back there. Actually, one student has asked, you know, every day, and that's where he likes to sit, is at the back of my classroom, so he can watch the fish tanks whenever he has a little bit of a moment to look at the fish tanks. That's what he'd like to look at. So yeah, just sit a little closer to little tanks. They look a lot bigger, lumpy dog, right? So I have quite a few students that like to sit back there by my fish tanks, and students are always asking if they can feed my fish or train my my betta fish. And once they know how to do it, I'm like, yeah, go for it. My fry tank, I have an automatic feeder on it, so I have an automatic feeder on it, so I just don't let my students feed that one. So that's one of my plan and dreams for giving back. So I have quite a few other announcements, but I have to wait until it's the right time for that. Might just announce some stuff this coming Saturday in my new series I will be doing I'll go ahead and announce it here a little bit. I will be doing a local fish store Saturday series. It might not be every Saturday, but it will be most Saturdays. And as time progresses, then I will have more and more content to put up for local fish store Saturday. I'm a firm believer and huge supporter of local businesses, especially local fish stores. So I was gonna say, I would like to give back in that way, but to help out local businesses. I am the son of a local business owner. My dad owns a heating and air conditioning business, and has for as long as I can remember. He's run the business since I was 3 years old, I know. And so I see what, struggles and stuff that a local business owner goes through. So I definitely want to help, people, local businesses a lot. So whenever I hear, if I can help a local business that is in my hobby that I love so much, I definitely want to help them. So by doing my local fish store Saturday, then I plan to help out my local business and bring them more business, especially to any, if I could find that ship online. So that would be awesome, because then I'd be able to say, hey, go check out this store. They ship online. They have great quality livestock, and if they buy from me, then I know it's great, right? So that's just a bunch of things that I have. So I'm open to any questions or comments that y'all have. Luke, you're saying you're having a hard time finding Nano Tanks at a good price. I mean, I consider a 2-gallon tank, 2.5-gallon tank a Nano Tank, and wait till it goes on the $1 per gallon sale, and I would think it would be $2 or $3, and then just set it up. Just gets, a small heater, small filter, put an air cylinder in, I guess. And someone's channel was on that they actually turned a glass jar, like a glass gallon jug or so, I think is what it was, into a Nano Tank, and they just found it lying around, and they did that. I will promise you not miss anything yet. The fun is just getting started when you got here, so don't worry. Yeah, Nano Tanks are great. You can have, I think it's just neat to have this little tiny ecosystem. I think that's really neat. Would need to see that in action. So let's see here. Nisi, what is it you're jealous of? You said that this girl is so jelly. Oh, so yeah, that's the only thing that I guess you missed, Aqua, was that I'll be having an upcoming series on local fish store. Not local fish stores tours all the time on Saturdays, but every once in a while we'll have hopefully a local fish store tour. Have to obviously talk to the local fish store owners and make sure it's fine with them. I also am very cautious about filming around people because of privacy issues and things like that. So I would prefer to do a local fish store tour when they're completely empty, or when before they open or after they close. But getting that access is really difficult. Fish life, I've never bred rainbow fish. I know there's a lot of people out there in the fish fam that do know a lot more. You see feet in the window reflection, then that is not the reflection that's actually, what is going on here? What, is that the wrong side? Yeah, it's the wrong side. So, yeah, actually, so it's a little bit easier to focus, I guess. Does that help with seeing the feet? Lots of, yeah, actually, I don't have that many local fish stores, Nisi. I have, There's one that I used to consider a local fish store, which they sell fish, but they're a local pet store, so that's good enough. They I do know the owner slash manager there. I don't know him that well. He's kind of quiet and reserved, just like me, you know. And 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 then there's actually two of those, so they're kind of like a chain, but there's literally only two of them. But I might try the one that's actually in my county instead of the one that I go to the most, which is the next county over, which they're the same distance. They're about 15 minutes apart. Um, my favorite local fish store is also 15 minutes away. I always feel like I'm in the movie Clueless, and here's my man card, everyone. I'm about to quote the movie Clueless. In the movie Clueless, Alicia Silverstone's character says that she needs longer to get home, longer than just 15, 20 minutes. And her dad says, everyone in the valley, you can be home in 15 to 20 minutes. And I feel like I live in basically the same kind of area because everywhere around here you can get home. I can get from here, from my house, to anywhere that I want to, really, for the most part. Um, Hi. Um, in 15 to 20 minutes. Um, there's a bunch of birds, but none are for sale. Yeah, someone's playing the local pet store has birds for sale. They have birds, reptiles, small mammals. They have puppies. I'm not a big fan of selling those, but yeah, that kind of, I don't really like the selling puppies, but yeah, they have fish. They used to have a lot more fish, I think. But I was gonna say here. So the other local fish stores. So, yeah, everything for me is 15 to 20 minutes away. I mean, I can get to the river in 15 minutes. I can get to most of my um, local fish stores in 15 to 20 minutes. I can get to mostly every mall, though I don't like to go in malls or shopping areas in 15 minutes. I can get to most parts of the county in 15 to 20 minutes and get to most important parts of the county next to us in 15 to 20 minutes. So I think it's pretty neat. So, um, um, yeah, Nisi, that stinks that you're an hour away. Susan, I really appreciate it. Tonight's the only night that I will be on this week, Vacation Bible School at church, but tomorrow join Jenny at Solid Gold Aquatics at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's Susan's normal time, so she's saying to go check that out. Yeah, Nisi, that stinks that you only have one local fish store and it's an hour away. I hear that from a lot of people, so it kind of makes me appreciative of what I do have and feeling blessed with how close the local fish stores are to me. I've never complained about them being too far. My complaint is that with the recession of 2007, 2008 in the housing market, that a lot of local fish stores had to close down. There was one on about 20 minutes from me called the Pet Club, and that one was really nice. I would go in, that one was relaxing. There was one also about 15, 20 minutes depending on traffic on Broad Street called Perfect Pets, I think. Um, so what else? Oh, there's this awesome one that was right kind of in a questionable area of town. I think it was called Wet Pets or something, but it was so nice. They had fish and reptiles. It was like the best of both worlds in my opinion, because I was about to get into reptiles at that point and I was still into fish. It was so nice. They had huge snakes. They had lots of fish. Oh, it was just such a nice place. But I was talking to these guys this past Friday about their plans of helping out the hobby and reaching out to kids and breeding fish. And they were talking about, fish hobbyists are willing to drive to go to a local fish store. And that is true, because there's this local fish store that's near where I have some friends that live about 2 or 3 hours from me, and I'm looking for an excuse to go to there, and I figure it out. I will go visit them this summer, because one is also a teacher and he's on summer vacation right now, and his wife is a librarian. So we'll go visit them and hang out with them, and I might just on the way back just happen to get lost and oh look, there's a fish store here. I might just stop by there. Cichlids, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. It was nice to do that. Yeah, Lumpy Dog, thank you for taking out. Cichlids, it's just don't put up so many emojis. That's kind of considered spamming, so it's just not very nice practice. So let's try and keep the emojis to like 2 or 3 at the max. But yeah, I would like to go to that one. There's another one that I know of that is, where is that one? Oh, on the way to Virginia Beach, there's a few that I noticed that I would love to stop at. So I'll definitely be going to some of those. I might be getting some quick videos of those as well. But like I said, I'm very cautious about getting videos with people in them, because I'm not sure about like if they're in the witness protection program or whatever, and so I do try to avoid getting people on the video. So that is difficult. Fish Life, have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. Rick, I love the got the lost thing. Yeah, it works. Because sometimes, David, I just happen to stop looking at my phone and the GPS, and I'm like, oh, I think there's a Taco Bell this way, so I'm gonna go this way, and Taco Bell's like way down the road, and I don't know. So that happens a lot too. So I'm excited this weekend. That's pretty cool, Jennifer. You're gonna go meet someone like that. Going to Portland to meet Rachel. That's kind of funny, because Rachel lives in Delaware, which is only 3 hours from me, and that's funny that you'd be in Portland. Susan says, German blue rams are a fish I would love to try one day. Their color and fins are awesome. Yes, they are a pretty interesting and wonderful fish. I know Ray's Aquaria, who I know she has been keeping some rams, and she's been breeding them, and she actually, I think she's also in pretty close. I know she lives in my state, so she lives in Virginia somewhere, so I've been talking to her on chats and stuff, on Corey's chats, mostly where I see her. But so yeah, Nisi thinks her daughter wants some German blue rams. If she can take care of my 20-gallon, I'll get her some next year. That sounds like a pretty good deal. The 20 gallons perfect for them. Yeah, Susan, I do think if she's going to be in Portland, she's probably speaking. I would love to go places and speak and motivate people, though I don't know how motivating a monotone voice is. Although I can get kind of, if I'm standing up and I'm teaching and I'm in my element, I can actually be kind of crazy sometimes. I can be animated. So I have some students that will tell you I can be kind of crazy. Some say that Ray is why my daughter wants some German blue rams. Yeah, so it's kind of funny how a bunch of us will cause the rest of us or our family members to want certain fish. Chaz from Chaz's Fish Channel has caused me to find an interest in jewel cichlids, which I've only found in one local fish store in my area. I finally found it. I posted that video not this past Saturday, but Saturday before that in my local fish store Saturday video. The first time, it was like a 30-second clip. First time I saw jewel cichlids ever in a local fish store that I can remember. Who else? Ray's Aquarium and Chris Gustin both raised German blue rams. Who else has inspired me to get certain fish? Oh, Corey and Bob have inspired me to look into Apistogramma cockatoides especially. What live bear can go good in some current? Some current, low current, I would think, I mean, mollies are pretty hardy fish. They can go up to saltwater. But I was talking with my local fish store employees. I don't own it. Employees at my local fish store about this person wants to get a saltwater tank and put mollies in it, which is pretty pretty strange, because who wants to get a saltwater tank, put mollies in it, because then you can just put them in freshwater. But mollies are, I would think, could go in. Um, mollies are could go in some flow. Also, I think swordtails. Swordtails need a lot of room to swim around in, and they actually come from, I think, no, they come from like Mexico, especially in Central America, and I know they like room to swim. So that would be my best guess. Guppies with their tails would slow them down. They get just exhausted. I would advise against that probably. Thank you, David. Animation. So a great teacher. Sometimes I am. Sometimes it kind of catch me on a bad day sometimes, but I still try to still impart knowledge on those days. Jeremy's on deck. I did not. I think I saw him earlier. Yeah, Lumpy Dog is a very good point, Matt. Any live bear without long flowing tails would be a good thing. Jennifer, what is it? Jennifer, J. Saraceno. I think I'm saying it correctly. You're the teacher, so I could arrange that. So what could you arrange? 5-gallon tank. I want to do some live bears and some gobies. Actually look better. Yeah, I'll pronounce they can look a lot better in saltwater. A popular as cleanup crew. You need to acclimate them a while. They're also, I think they would be a good cycling fish too for saltwater. Welcome, Kevin. Everyone, Kevin Walden is one of my former students. I feel pretty confident that I can talk about him. He is in college. I've talked about him a lot to my current students, and he is one of my former students that actually I taught him when I was a student teacher, so that was 11 years ago. And I taught some of his siblings as well. And Kevin it's really kind of strange how much he's like me a little bit. He is also a fish keeper. He works at a daycare like what I used to about 7 years ago. I worked at a daycare for 7 years, 7 summers and 1 full year. He wants to put set up a fish tank in his daycare that he works at. Daycare I used to work at, which is right down the road from where he works. They currently have, at least last time I checked, they have a 55-gallon tank with the most random fish in there ever, and I wish that I could have told them, hey, don't do that, but hey, it works, kind of. He's also wants to go to school to be a middle school science teacher, which I'm kind of partial to that. I do love teaching science in middle school. Middle school, people are really scared about, teaching middle school. And at first, when I found out that I was going to possibly be endorsed in middle school, I didn't want to do it because my thoughts and memories of middle school was scary. I had a very bad experience in middle school. I was bullied a lot, but that's where I took that negative thing. And I was like, maybe I had a bad time, but maybe I can make my students' experience in middle school much better than what mine was. So, but yeah, middle schoolers are great because I love their sarcasm. They're starting to understand sarcasm because I'm never sarcastic. So I love that they can be sarcastic because it teaches me sarcasm. Just kidding. I can't keep a straight face for that long, but yeah, they're sarcastic. They're great. So yeah, Kevin wants to be a middle school science teacher, and he was actually asking my mom, who works at the gym that we go to, about it, and she was like, hey, we'll just text my son and ask him how you go about being a middle school science teacher and what kind of endorsements you need and stuff. And so I replied back to him, and hopefully I gave him some pretty useful information. Obviously he's a fish keeper. He walked into my local fish club meeting, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, and wearing an Aquarium co-op shirt. And I was like, I'm so proud of him. Look at that. It was pretty easy to spot that shirt from 50 feet away. So Nisi, yeah, everyone go support Kevin Walden. Everyone go support everyone's channel on here. I can't tell you one person on here that I think is a bad person, but by any means. So go sub up everybody, and I've checked out most people's channels on here, and I it's all great content. All great content. So definitely go check him out. So, I thought there was something Aquaprentis. What was it you wanted to Google later? Any other fish that can do that? Let's see here. Endlers. So you think endlers would work? No, that's not the question. Keep them all fresh, brackets or salt. So that's pretty cool idea, Nisi, to keep the mollies fresh, salt, and brackets just so that they are versatile. Silver mollies, yeah, I saw that part. Lumpy dog. Just check on the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. Mollies can actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw most of it. But yeah, Kevin, I will definitely be back to that meeting. I think I will probably be missing the July one because I think that's when my family is going on vacation to Myrtle Beach. And of course, this might be my next Instagram post, which everyone go follow me on Instagram, so I don't feel like a loser on there. I think I have 56 followers or so, but it's at Mr. Science Geek. I don't post very often on there, but when I do, it's usually about fish. But anyways, yeah, I'll probably post this tomorrow, so I'm giving you all a sneak peek to my next Instagram post. Super exciting. My next Instagram post will probably be a screenshot of Google Maps search of where I'm going on vacation this summer and the fish stores in the area. Because it's like, hey, I'm on vacation. Of course I can go look at some fish stores. I'm not going to buy anything because it's like a 6-hour drive. Well, I could keep them if I had a Airstone back there, battery powered, or see, I'm more thinking about it. Or a, what else? Aquaprentis, good question. Any other fish that can live in fresh, brackish, and salt? Some fish, actually, I forget the exact name of it. Matt, I live in Virginia. Aquaprentis, yes, thank you, Nisi. Also, always awesome with the links and the sharing. I really appreciate that. I was talking about it the other day. Captain Savage, thank you for stopping by. Got orange woke up. Yeah, I hope you're streaming tonight, and I hope to stop by your stream for a little bit if I don't fall asleep with my hands on the keyboard editing like I do sometimes. Aquaprentis, back to your question. There are some fish that actually need, I forget the actual name, but like some fish that, so what's it called, like the American eel. I think it starts off in, I get this backwards usually, so please don't quote me on this. Starts off in salt and then works its way fresh. And then the European one starts in freshwater and then works its way to freshwater. Did I say that right? No, it starts on freshwater and works its way to saltwater. What other fish? I think rockfish or striped bass. I think that they're another type of fish. But are there any fish that can live at any point of their life in all 3 types of water? Not that I can think of. So that's the short answer. It's not that I can think of. I'm sorry, it's so disappointing. Susan, thank you for stopping by. Have a good night. Hope everything at Vacation Bible School this week goes awesome. I hope some lives are changed. I hope some people find Jesus this week. It's always a great thing when that happens. So best of wishes and prayers for that this week. So let's see here. You live near Myrtle Beach, Matt? Interesting. That is 6 hours from me. Salmon, Rob, that is also what I was thinking, but I couldn't get it out of my mouth fast enough because I started thinking about 3 other things at the same time. But yes, salmon they're obviously born in freshwater, go out to saltwater, then come back into freshwater, and then die. It's just kind of crazy. That I was telling my students about the life cycle of salmon, or as my coworkers' parents pronounce it, salmon. Salmon. Live in North Carolina, but you live near Myrtle Beach. Interesting. So I guess you live in the very southern portion um, North Carolina then, because Myrtle Beach is the very um, northern portion of South Carolina. So just went to the last summer. Went to Outer Banks. We went to Duck. I love that area. It's nice and chill. I love being able to walk places. What was I saying? Oh, about salmon, the life of salmon. I was telling my students about that, and I told them, yeah, they breed in the babies are born and hatched in the freshwater. They then, swim downstream with the current. They grow up in the ocean, they eat stuff, and then they get this certain signal that it's time to come back upstream. They come upstream, they jump over, some waterfalls and dams and things like that, and then they find each other and they get through bears and fishermen and crazy waterfalls. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. And they find each other and they breed and then they die. And when they do, the students are like, well, can't you just catch them and eat them? No, they're disgusting at that point. Just ask the bears. Yeah. One of the species who don't hatch within days, yeah, they take months to hatch. Also, Kevin, the Virginia state fish, which is the brook trout, I think is what it is the brook trout, is also one that does not hatch in days. They actually take a few months to hatch, and there is a pretty cool program, Kevin, whenever you get your classroom going, if you want to do this. I've looked into it. It's called Trout in the Classroom. Thank you, Dwayne, for that word. Estuarine, I didn't pronounce it correctly. Do all three. They do live in all three. Thank you, Kevin. But the brook trout, I think is what it's called. Look up trout in the classroom. That's what it's called. They will give you the brook trout. I think it's the trout. It is eggs, or maybe the little wigglers, basically. And they you raise them up in your classroom through the winter time. They need a chiller, which is the expensive part. And then in the springtime, you go and you take the brook trout and you release them into a Virginia stream, where they'll say, hey, go release them here. And it's a pretty cool, really neat field trip for the students. So Kevin, definitely look into that. It's a really cool thing. Let's see here. Matt, what fish breed fast and easy besides live bearers? People say that convicts cichlids are the live bearers of the cichlid world, because they breed like crazy. You put a male and female in some water and give it some time, and put on some berry white, give them some oysters and chocolate covered strawberries, and you've got babies. You've got baby convict cichlids. Kevin, sorry I dropped my pen. Yes, the trout are the ones who take up to 90 days. That is true. Yeah, it is nerdy, but it's pretty cool. It keeps my 4th grade teacher, who retired 2 years ago. She inspired me a lot in science. A lot, actually, in science. Inspired my interest in science. She was telling me about it, and she was telling me about giving me all the setup and everything, but then it turned out that obviously the school wanted to keep that, which I get that, because that's some expensive stuff. And peaceful fish that like to breed. Alex, that's so cool. My elementary school raised salmon, I'm going to say now, fry and release them every year. That is so cool. If they want to release some onto some iced paper and then deliver them to my house, my grill's right there, that'd be great. Just grill it in some honey and some Old Bay. So nice. Convicts, yeah, just need a male and a female. How do you stop guppies from breeding? You have to separate them. I have all males in my bachelor pad tank right now, and that's about it. So How do you stop them breeding? What else can breed that's not aggressive that breeds quickly? Angelfish, if you get them to pair up nicely, then they are a nice, they breed pretty easily. I think they're a pretty good second step up from live bear breeding. Let's see here, what else would be a pretty easy breeder? Let's have I bred. How could how cold keep a small fan on my 36 gallon 62? Kevin, they need to be like 55 degrees or sometimes cooler than that. It needs a chiller, and I've thought about well, Matt, if you sorry Kevin, I thought about doing a DIY chiller, but it just wasn't going to work out. Matt says, I want to stock my 75 gallon, but I'm on a budget, so I want to fish the breed so they can just populate the tank by themselves. If you, uh, if you, if you have it nicely planted, you could put most fish in there, and then eventually, if you're patient enough, they would populate it on themselves. Very good point, Dwayne. Shell dwellers, but I think a 75 gallon would be like way more vertical space than what you would need. Rams are pretty easy as long as you have soft water, not salt, soft water. They definitely prefer soft water. 7-degree room temp, yeah, still not cool enough, Kevin. They need to, it's almost, if we had a more consistent and predictable winter, it would almost be more worth it to keep them outside, but I wouldn't risk it because of just the extreme, because you would have to have it deep enough so the water didn't freeze, so it didn't kill them. But it, the days that we get like 70 or 80 degree winter days, then that would also lose them as well, possibly just too much of a swing. Dwayne knows a lot for being new to the hobby. Yeah, Dwayne can teach us all something that we didn't even know that we didn't know. I just quoted a song to the Pocahontas song, Colors of the Wind. Here's my man card once again. I also want gobies so I can have the current. Yeah, gobies look pretty cool. I just they just seem like a lot of care and like the brackish water and stuff. Kevin says, I've heard a lot of people repurposing the cooling coil inside of mini fridges. That's what I thought about. Was here's my thought, Kevin, is actually taking a mini fridge and drilling into the side of it so that tubing or PVC could go through it, which is what you're running the water through, and then having the tube kind of coil down in there, and then out the other end it's cooled, but it wouldn't cool it fast enough, because it would cool it a little bit, but I don't think it would cool that much. Mark's Art, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I'll have a more interesting topic next week. But I really did enjoy it. Really enjoyed hanging out with all of you tonight. I really did enjoy it. So thank you for stopping by. Dwayne only knows what he has been taught. What has been taught? Dwayne knows a lot. It's just impressive how much Dwayne knows. Just so impressive. I'll be like waking up in a new world every morning. It's a pretty cool way of looking at it. But alright, so I want to give it about 7 more minutes. I'm going to keep this at an hour. Keeps editing a lot easier. I actually don't have any really good thumbnail portions, so maybe I'll put at the very end, I'll make like crazy face at the very end. Don't really have a lot of places to put tags, so I'll just put links above to random channels that I feel. Charles got to 1,000. Sergeant Tanks got to 1,000 subscribers. Really want to help out a bunch of the. Thank you, Phil, for stopping by. Thank you for all your information about a bunch of the stuff that I wasn't able to get to fast enough. So I definitely want to appreciate that. Really want to help out Susan and I mean, the people that help us so much, and Nisi and V-Stag and DPK. I mean, they're just awesome people. Um, yeah, there's awesome people, and they really need. So I might put links to all of their channels in this video. It's probably what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget. DPKV Stag Nisi. Who else did I say? Susan, and one more. I'll figure out the fifth one. I'm not gonna use a link to that. So yeah, Rob Hicks. That's a very good point. He learned when he had to read books, no internet back then, just books and people. And actually, believe it or not, Rob, I grew up up until middle school. I grew up learning things without the internet didn't exist. Well, I didn't have access to the internet before I was in 7th grade. Yeah, Lumpy Dog is another channel too. I might add him to being the number 5 on here, because Charles already 1,000 down. I'm going to help out the channels that aren't at 1,000, get everybody to 1,000 subs, so we can Joey King of DIY. Obviously, he's at 1,000. He said that his most momentous milestone was at 1,000 subscribers. So, But what was I saying? Yeah, about before the internet, it was. I actually had to use encyclopedias. Those are really thick books for those of you that don't know. I used to collect animal cards. Yeah, I used to collect animal cards with lots of data. I would read them and just learn stuff and memorize stuff as best I could. I learned a lot from the Discovery Channel. Back when the Discovery Channel used to have animal shows on it. And Discovery Channel used to be like a combination of National Geographic and Animal Planet all mixed into one. It was so cool. It had nature documentaries all the time, and I loved it. And Shark Week was just a part of that, and it was awesome. That was the first memory I have of enjoying TV. Was I was 4, sitting on my parents' couch watching the Discovery Channel, watching a nature documentary about lions and cheetahs and their interactions in the wild. And I was just like, oh, this is so cool. This is what I want to do. So, Rob Hicks is pretty cool. He started a fish store when you were 30 years ago. Yeah, Kevin, you are the generation, you are the age where I don't think you really live very much life without internet. Lumpy Dog, I'm guessing you're meaning microfilm, and I've seen it, but I've never used it. If we want to get into talking about antiquated, ways of learning things, that could be a whole nother live stream. That would be a fun one. That would be just like a random pop-up chatty one, which I thought I would do more pop-up live streams, like late night ones after the daughter goes to bed and everything. So that's what happened. Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, Animal Planet and Discovery Channel were actually educational. They actually had shows on them. I actually dropped cable 2-3 months ago now, and I don't miss it. I learned so much more from watching not Netflix documentaries and YouTube, especially YouTube. And of course I fact check stuff left and right, so that's what I really like doing. So, Nate 8, and it was Napster. I remember Napster. Used to have Napster, and then they got sued and stuff, and then LimeWire was the big thing, and then I got moved out on my own kind of thing, and had internet slower than dial-up, so I couldn't even do that anymore. So, yeah. Oh man, lots of memories here. I used to tell my students about my first cell phone was a bag phone. Well, let's get talking about that. No, let's not get talking about that. But anyways, we're getting off topic here, so I'm gonna probably go ahead and start ending it here. Wild Kingdom was on. That was a great show. Wild Kingdom. Lots of great shows. Whenever I just want to like chill out, I'll look for one of those nature documentaries, and just my mind completely just gets entranced into that. And that's how I think most guys are whenever they watch sports. I don't watch sports, but I get completely entranced and calmed and soothing by watching a nature documentary. If there's one on the ocean, oh, I'm just like, oh. Oh, that's a pretty good one. 59.31. Cut the cord 6 months ago. It was a great decision. Cable companies need to step up. I mean, they need to let people choose. Hey, these are the channels I watch. These are what I'm paying for. I'm paying $5 a channel. That's it. If that. I'd be paying like $50. I'm paying $2 a channel. Lumpy Dog, my first cell phone in that case was a quarter, was how much it was. And it was a funny story about this, then I gotta go. I got back from a marching band trip. When we got back from a football game, I had to come use a payphone at the school, and that's what we did, to call my parents and tell them I was home. But instead of calling my parents' phone number, I called my friend's phone number, because I called them more often than I called my own house. And I was like, hey mom, I'm home. And she's like, Rick? I was like, yeah, I'm back. Can you come pick me up? She's like, this is not your parents. I'm like, oh kitty, I'm so sorry. Can you call my parents and tell them I'm home? Because I just used my only quarter to call home, and I accidentally called you. So can you call them, please? And she's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. They'll be right there. So did that. Party lines, Phil, my parents have told me about the party lines. It's pretty awesome. So everyone, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't already, please subscribe, turn on notifications in case I will start doing pop-up live streams in the summertime, which I only have 8 more days of school. I'm not counting, but that's this many. That's 8 of my 10 thumbs being used right there. But yeah, subscribe, turn on notifications, comment on any of my videos, any questions that you have, any requests for content. Like them if you do. If you don't like them, let me know what I can do to fix them. Share my channel with your friends and family on social media. I definitely greatly appreciate that. I really want to get to 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm on pace to get there by the end of the summertime. That would be awesome. And everybody subscribe to everyone on this live chat tonight. I will keep the chat open for a while so everyone can go and subscribe to each other. And share each other's channels, put them on your recommended channel. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna go make some smaller channels my recommended channels. What I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna help out the smaller channels. Like I like helping out the smaller businesses, the local fish stores. So who's next? I don't know who's next. Anyone want to go next? If you volunteer to go next, I will give you a shout out. Actually, you'll be my number 5 that I put up as a tag. Little thing on there. Kevin and Rob Hicks, I actually, my video that will be coming out tomorrow morning, hopefully at 6 a.m. Will be about 4 minutes about my ponds. So yeah, that'll be on my water change. No, tomorrow's not Wednesday. On my Tank Talk Tuesday, I'll be having a 4-minute segment at the end. It's going to be about 12 minutes, so 4, 8, and then 12 last segments. 4 minutes is about my guppy ponds outside, and some pretty actually brutal action in the last 4 minutes. You got to check it out tomorrow. So I will be posting some more tub tank talk on tomorrow on Tank Talk Tuesday. That was a lot of tease. And if that's what y'all like, I will definitely get some more pond action going on. I might even, I have a waterproof camera. I might even film some film. Who uses film anymore? I might even get some video of underwater of what it looks like, what the green water is. I think that would be pretty cool to see. Make sure I have a ponds playlist set up. That's a good idea. I really am going to do that, Lumpy Dog. Thank you very much. So, is anyone else streaming next? I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds and I'm getting off here. This is 5 minutes longer than what I like to go. So I usually like to end when I say I'm going to end and stick to my word. But y'all got me off on a pretty good tangent there, which is a pretty easy thing to do. Just ask my students what they think it's a tangent, but it's always actually on topic and it always relates to science. And I think that's a awesome thing about science. I can relate everything back to whatever we're learning. So maybe we'll do that one night. maybe one night in a live stream, I'll say, hey, try and say something very random that you think can't relate to science, and I bet I can relate it back to science. Or even better, something with fish tanks, and I bet, and this is me pointing my pen at you, shaking my fist at you, I bet I can do that. So have a 5-page essay, do it. Yeah, get off of here, son of this plane, and go do your 5-page essay. I'm gonna kick you out. I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna block you. I'm gonna put you in timeout, but seriously, go do your paper. Charles Fish Tank stream next, that'd be great. I don't know if he is, but that'd be great. Lumpy Dog, thank you for stopping by. Thank you to Rob Hicks for stopping by. Thank you to Jenna Tucker for stopping by. Matt DLR, Kevin Walden, Alexis Ballou, I think I'm saying it correct. Phil, Aqua Apprentice, Guppy Crib. I like your name, by the way. V-Stag, as always, thank you for posting and sharing on all that you do. Thank you for posting all your content about this, your life and everything, and your gardens and stuff in the back in your backyard. Dank Tanks, not sure if I already said you. Yeah, thank you to everybody for stopping by. I know Dave was on here earlier, Susan was on here earlier, Nisi was on here earlier, so thank you to everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and go right now. That was the 30 seconds. Actually, it was over a minute. So everyone have a good night, and you stay fishy, people.